Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a nice Saturday. I know that it is very hot all over the place, whether you're in the south, the north, wherever you're at, it's hot all over. Oh my gosh, you guys. Sorry about that. I just dropped my glasses and they broke. But, anyways. So I am really excited for tonight's live. I do want to say a couple things before I bring up our two guests, which we have Jenn as one of our special guests. You guys know her. I've done a lot of the Leticia stuff with Jenn Lou, Bendy, as we call her. And then we also have another guest, Kit. And Kit, um, I've met her through this case, but also she covers lots of other cases and does stuff on her channel. And she's talked to Leticia for years since the beginning, and she came on tonight to talk with us about some of that. And so, what I wanted to say. I appreciate her coming on so much. I know that sometimes it can be hard because it can be hard to share because people are so judgy and can be, I don't know. All I say is, please, you guys, just remain respectful, and mods, be on like an extra lookout. I really appreciate her being open enough to come and answer questions and talk about it and stuff like that. And I do know that if you missed our stream where we went onto her channel, it's not like she just was doing like Amy, as we see in these videos and these calls, kind of just going along with everything. She was calling her out, and she showed letters of Tisha responding to her when we were on the stream the other day, where, Leticia is talking, saying that she's being so rude and this and that because Kit called her out on some stuff. So I just want to say, please keep an open mind. Please be kind. We cannot expect people to share if we're not kind and inviting and, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take a second to say hello to all of you guys. I just wanted to get that out. And let me say again to the mods, please just be on high alert today and let me know if there's any trouble. Please take a screenshot or whatever and send it to me. But today, zero tolerance for disrespect. You don't have to agree with me or anyone here, but just have to be respectful about it. So, okay, let me say hello to you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Yes, it is hot. Hey, True Crime Snoopy, hot in Indianapolis. Hey, Tony. Hey, Charlene. Hey, Tess. Hey, Chopper. Pointer Lover. Heather and Kimchi. Hey, Nadie. Carol Clark. Roro. Sarah Bellum. Teacup. Grandma Cece. Hey, Blue. Hey, Shauna. Let's see. Yeah, hot as can be. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Lil Red. Absolutely. And thank you for that. Also, I'm going to be dropping their links. Kit does have a channel. And then, of course, you guys know that Jenn has a channel. And also the other link, two other links that I want to make sure to talk to you guys about this evening. Anybody who's in the chat, like Amber, ATS News, of course, I want to drop her link. I have a lot of friends with excellent channels. Nadie and her wax melts and all of that. Always want to support her and want you guys to check that out if you're interested. But specifically these two ladies, and then after this, Melissa Jade has a live on Leticia stuff. So I'll be dropping all of those links as we go. Okay, you guys. So this is going to be interesting. Let's get right into it. Let me bring up these ladies. Hello, you guys.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you, Jen?
I'm pretty good. Ooh, your mic is pretty low. Let me turn it up. Yep.
Oh, no, I can get loud, believe me.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. What are you guys up to today?
Not much. Not much at all, actually.
Oh, the same old usual shenanigans that I always get up to on Saturday. Nothing.
I gotta quit looking at the chat. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Can I say something before I even start? And I promise I'm going to be respectful, okay?
Yeah, of course.
I want to explain to the people that I have no ulterior, you know what I'm saying, motives with Leticia, and I want people to know that. And maybe probably most of you people don't know, I was in communication with her. One. Uh-oh.
We can hear you. You sound good.
No, there was an echo.
Oh, no, I don't hear an echo on my end.
Yeah, I don't hear the echo. You're good, Kit. Go ahead, babe.
Okay. Where was I?
You were in communication with Tisha.
Okay, I was in communication with Leticia, okay, on my own free will, okay, but I learned a lot. And I've learned that I don't have to explain anything to anybody.
No.
Okay? I don't. I went through a lot for 2 years because people hated her, so they thought I should hate her.
Right.
I went into this innocent till proven guilty, okay?
Yeah.
And all that really matters in the end was my honesty, but also to Gannon and his mother, just so you people know, his mother does not hate me at all. I have talked to her. So there's that.
Well, here's the thing too. I know it's hard for people to understand, but I'm also a curious person where I don't see anything wrong with reaching out if you want to in these kind of circumstances. I mean, now you could have never known how bad things would have truly been in the beginning when you did. But like I said, you gave pushback too. It's not like you just went along with everything that she said. And this is more about understanding her during that time, the time that you talked to her. You got an inside look. And I also want to say, you guys, yes, she does have a channel, but it's not monetized. She's just doing it because she's interested in it. I'm not saying you may never monetize. If you want to one day, maybe you will, but for years that's never been what this was about. It was just, in my opinion, just from the outside looking in, which I'm going to ask you some of your thoughts along the way as we go, and you can explain for yourself, but that's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah. But I also wanted to share my experience with people, and that's what I have put out there. But like when her trial, when her trial was going on, I had everything on private, okay, everything, because I was sick of hearing you're doing it for content. I'm like, okay, it's all going on private. Everything that had to do with me and her, okay, not Gannon, not that baby, but with me and her. I did that. But some of it has been taken off of private for a few reasons, but anyway, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. You know,
Okay.
don't judge. You don't know me, please. If you heard things, it was from some bad people. Okay, and I'll leave it at that.
Right. And I hope that, and I see a lot of like awesome supportive comments in the chat towards you. And I think that we're going to have a good discussion. So let me just say thank you, Jordan, for being a member for 29 months and happy weekend. And thank you, Teacup, for gifting. I appreciate that. And yeah, like I want to hear from you. And I can see why you would be afraid or would not want to talk sometimes or explain yourself, because people sometimes tend to be like judgmental before they even know the full story. You know what I mean? And it can be tough.
Right.
Okay. So I'll go ahead with my first question then. I wrote them down, and Kit doesn't know the questions, but I will say they're all respectful. But how and when did you first meet her, Leticia?
When she got arrested, I was in shock. Okay, because I didn't see any of that stuff about her on Facebook. I just knew that a little boy was missing. Okay.
Right.
And then I put out his flyer and all that, and then here to find out that the stepmom got arrested in Florida. I'm like, what? They look like they have the picture perfect life. So I wrote to her, and then April 29th, I got my first letter from her. And then from there on, we communicated. And I told her from the very beginning, I do not want to talk about the case. However, I did say I want to know how Dana's body got from Colorado to Florida. I did say that.
Right.
When they found his body.
So, Kit, how did you, if you weren't like, how did you hear about the case? How did you hear that Gannon was missing?
Yeah.
Flyers floating around on YouTube. Because I had nothing to do with Facebook. I didn't even have a Facebook.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of people around that time at the beginning of 2020 stopped participating with Facebook. Hi, I'm a lot of people.
Same.
Facebook got on my nerves around that. But 2020 was a difficult year for me with Facebook, as far as like it's got to be too much, and I didn't like deactivate or anything. I just quit checking it. So just Messenger. I just use Messenger.
Right.
So
Right.
so when she got arrested, because when she got arrested, remember, you guys, they had not found Gannon yet.
Right.
Right.
So when she got arrested, what did you think? What was your theory? What did you think might have happened?
I thought that he well, at first maybe I thought runaway, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the video, we seen the truck video, right? And I kept looking at that. And then it looked like there seemed to be a shadow. So I thought he ran away, but then I thought he was abducted from there.
Right.
So I really didn't know what to think. But I wasn't going with what everybody else was saying and thinking.
Right.
Right.
Which a lot of people, that's good, because a lot of misinformation goes around. It's never bad to kind of figure out things for yourself. But did you, so you, at first you believed she was innocent, or at least after talking to her, right? Or
Yeah.
how did you feel about that? And when did that kind of change?
After the letters I got of her being crazy, I kind of thought, oh God, maybe she is, because she's been locked in that cell for a year, and I'm getting these weird letters from her. But just something started to change in me when I would be talking to her. It's like in my heart, I'm like, oh boy, she did this.
Oh, was it?
However,
No, go ahead.
I'm going to have to show the very first letter I got from her explaining everything to me. I didn't ask her nothing, mind you. I did not ask her any of these things that she wrote to me. And I did ask her, I go, I appreciate you getting back to me. I know I'm a nobody. I go, I was just curious. And what else did I say to her? Please do not talk about your case to me. I've
Right.
said it to her more than once. I said, trust nobody, not even me. I've even told her that in a letter.
Well, when you're awaiting trial, that's very different than talking maybe after the trial too, you know? And
Yeah.
so were you just curious to know more about her and their life and how they like maybe ended up in that situation, or?
Yeah. I wanted to know more about her. Because, you know, she had me fooled there for a while, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Because you know what? She was very sweet to me. She was always concerned with my parents, and because they both had cancer. So she was really concerned about them and would say really nice things. If you guys listen to our conversations on the phone, you can tell she asked about my family.
Oh, I've heard that. We've
Oh, yeah.
actually talked about that, Jen and I.
Mm-hmm. We
And I
have.
was really grateful for that. I'm like, I know, and I also wanted to tell the people, well, your people. Another thing, I wanted people to know the other side of her with me. You know.
Well, everybody's experience with other people is their own experience, right?
Right.
Nobody can tell me how Allie is, because Allie, my friendship with Allie is, you know, that's my experience with Allie. So, you know, I think that's a good like motto to have. But so your initial impression of Leticia, that she was sweet, where did that come from? Because and the only reason I'm curious about your initial impression, not so much when she wrote you back, but watching her as, you know, because she did that interview. And I know you didn't watch or see anything that was going on in Facebook, but mainly that interview. I'm curious about what your initial impression of her was before you even contacted her.
I felt that she was embarrassed to show the world. She didn't want to look bad to the world. And she was embarrassed. I don't know.
Mm.
What gave you the impression that she was embarrassed? I'm just now. I'm not judging. I'm just asking. I like these. I got to follow up. I'm
She
very
wasn't-
curious about her.
Because she wasn't facing the camera. And I thought, okay, she's
Oh.
embarrassed. She don't want the world to look bad on her, or, look bad to the world.
Mm.
That's so interesting that was your impression, that she was embarrassed.
It is.
Because I'll tell you what my impression was when she didn't face the camera. It had nothing to do with guilt or innocence. I thought she was dramatic and extra and making it about herself because everybody would be talking about that. You very rarely see interviews with people with their back to the camera. If they don't want to appear on camera, they will, ask the news or whoever is interviewing them, right, to distort their face, right? But for Leticia to do that whole interview with her back turned to the camera, to me, not just that, but the things that she said in that interview, it seemed like she actually wanted the attention to be on her and not on Gannon. That was the impression I got. So it's interesting that you felt that she did that out of embarrassment because she was embarrassed.
For me, I thought it's because I think about recently Sebastian Rogers' parents did an interview where all you could see were their hands. Well, his mom and stepdad, and a lot of people were trying to compare them to Leticia for that. And for me, seeing them do it, I felt like they were already getting so much criticism. I kind of understood why they did it. But with her, I had a very different reaction. I was like, what are you hiding? Why can't we not see your face? I guess because they had already done one with their, like on camera with their face. But it's interesting. It's making me even like it's some introspection going on to my, like, of why I looked at both just completely different. But that was kind of my view with her. I was like, what are you hiding? Why are you doing it this way? And then not to mention that hot mic moment where she's telling Harley what to say just gave me, I don't know, it was just alarm bells for me.
Oh, funny you mentioned that, because I don't recall hearing that part, but I recall her saying, Harley, come here, Harley, come here. And I'm like, well, yeah, her daughter would know something, right? That's what I was thinking. I didn't know how deep in finding out down the road, Harley would do anything for her mother, because I feel, allegedly, in my opinion, she's afraid of her mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
Well, I don't remember hearing the actual conversation between Harley and Leticia in that hot mic moment, but I definitely remember it from trial. And then I went and enhanced the audio myself, and you can very clearly hear it. But I don't remember it from when it actually happened for whatever reason.
Oh, I do. I remember that vividly when it actually happened, because I remember like somewhere that I was watching, maybe it was Plunder. She like pointed it out in her video or whatever. So that's how I saw it. But Fancy, thank you so much for joining, and thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. Okay. So let me see here. Okay, and this was a question that Chopper had. First, I want to say, though, there were some condolences for what you had been through with your parents. And this question is it was going to come up later. I had some questions that I had written down that people had left. But one was, I believe that was her manipulating you, showing like care and concern for your family. Now, for you in the moment, did you feel like that was legitimate concern, and that she, because there in moments she does sound sincere, but then again, at the end of the day, knowing how she is, I just don't see that. I can't see her that way, but I'm curious how you felt.
Yeah, I did, but then I got to thinking about it. Look, I'm going through driving one parent every day to cancer treatment 5 days a week. And then finding out my mom had it 4 weeks later, and then she died 29 days later. I wasn't with it myself either. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I have somebody that really cares. You know what I mean?
So you did feel that Leticia was somewhat of like a shoulder to cry and to lean on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being honest. And that's
No, I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
I'm looking at the people and say I will always be honest with everything with her, just so you guys know that.
Well, I do want to say I'm so sorry for what you've went through with your parents, and I think that anybody would not be thinking as clearly as usual going through all of that, during and after. So
I also want to offer my condolences. That's difficult. I can't imagine what that would be like. I mean, I've lost my mom, but my dad is still alive, and my mom wasn't sick. She just, she had the widowmaker, a heart attack. So, so it's hard. So I can't imagine losing and having to deal with what you had to deal with all at the same time. That's got to be tremendously difficult. So I'm sorry. So knowing that now and going back and reflecting and reading the letters that you have between the two of you from that period of time, do you see the letters from Leticia in a different light, or do you see them in the same light that you did then?
Yeah.
I haven't even read them all again.
Why? Is there a reason?
Why? Because it hasn't been, let me tell you something. It hasn't been on my mind because I've had some other heartache going on,
Gotcha.
With my son. He tried to self-harm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that, babe. I'm so sorry.
That happened when somebody we know knew what was going on with me and my son, and she did me dirty. But anyway.
I'm sorry that happened. I didn't know that, but that makes sense. I'm curious, though, when you feel that you are ready to and able to, if you go back and were to read those letters, I'm curious if you would see them in the same light today as you saw them back then. I'm curious about that.
But I will say, I told Leticia, I did tell her, I go, loyalty and honesty means a lot to me. And if you're lying to me, I'm going to be very upset with you. I did say that to her. And I remember listening to the prelim. I'm like, no way. This is horrible. I thought, okay, innocent till proven guilty. Okay, let's see what happens here. And then during the trial, and then when they were going over his autopsy, I lost it. I cried. People couldn't see it. I was embarrassed. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I talked to somebody like that. You know what I mean? I went through all these different emotions.
I was just going to ask you about watching the trial and stuff, what you thought. Oh.
I literally got sick.
Were you as surprised during the trial to find out the order of the injuries as the rest of us were?
Yeah.
How did you think it occurred?
I thought it was an accident and he got hit in the head.
Gotcha.
And then you find out how absolutely graphic and brutal and awful and disgusting it was. I mean, I want to thank you guys in the chat, but I just don't want to, I want to just take it off the screen for just a moment while we talk about this part. She took his life 3 times, really. I mean, in a way. And
she did. No, you're right, Ali. I've said it from the beginning. That is exact. No, you're correct. She did take his life 3 times.
It just so absolutely brutal. And oh my God, I'll never forget watching the preliminary hearing and hearing about the defensive wounds on his hands. And that just broke me. And then the trial, like a lot of you guys were with us when we went through it, Jenn and I, and Melissa too, and a few other people. But God, it was just so awful and so graphic. I can't imagine watching that, having hope that she would have been innocent before that, and then hearing about that brutality.
Yeah, that was really hard to hear. I couldn't imagine how his family felt. You know what I mean? And here we are just strangers, but we grew to love Gannon and his family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I mean, his mom did come into my chat a few times and yell at me, right? She did, okay? But then she came to me during when my dad was sick.
Oh,
and
then, sweet.
Then I was also told she didn't hate me and I did nothing wrong. So that made me feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is so sweet. And Landon is such a like little ray of sunshine. Even on TikTok, that's where I first like started really watching her and stuff. And she would be like trying to inspire other people, while also sharing clips of Gannon and talking about Gannon and stuff, but trying to like be the light in that and not like focusing on so much darkness around her at the time. Like, I don't know, she's just such a strong and amazing woman. I just want to pause for a second though and say thank you to Lil Red for gifting those memberships, and thank you again to Fancy. I want to be able to keep up with the comments, but I don't want to lose those, so I just wanted to say thank you. And yeah, we can continue. Go ahead, Jen. What were you going to say?
So I want to go back to something that you said earlier, Kit, in reference to a letter and stuff that she had told you. It's in the first letter, I guess. Can you tell us more about that? That there were some things that she told you in there that you, I guess, pertaining to her case that you didn't ask for, but she gave, she gave to you.
Oh, there's a lot. You want me to get it?
Please, yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you can, you don't have to. If you're comfortable, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Just if you can remember and just want to talk about it from memory, that's cool too. Either way. I'm a nosy Parker. I'm not going to lie. So you don't, and I think this goes without saying, but you do not have to answer anything that I ask. Sometimes I'm just too blunt.
No, I have no problem because this is going to help me remember. Okay. Let's see. What does she say here? Is this the right one?
I hope you'll go back later and read the chat, because there are so many people giving so much love and support in the chat.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. This is a really good community over here. I have to say that they're super cool and want to hear what you have to say. So,
yeah.
Okay, I guess I sent her a card. She goes, "Thank you for the card you sent. I appreciate your kindness during this difficult time. I am aware of the seriousness of the charges. And you asked me how I got to this point in my life. Well, contrary to others above myself, I sacrificed everything inside of me to take care of our family. I gave endless love. Sometimes we are faced with tribulations and we respond. We respond determines our fate. In fact, didn't the John the Baptist, godly man, go to prison and he beheaded before he had a chance to prove himself? Or even Job, or I don't know who this is. You guys, just so you know, I'm not a godly person in a sense. I'm spiritual. I don't know what these names are.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I'm the same.
He was beheaded, or even Job or whoever he is, thought his life had no hope or questioned where God is. But he maintained his integrity, confessed his sins, repented, and the Lord restored for long times. Confession and acceptance is not always what someone did wrong to a specific individual. It may be that you enabled them or love them to do things, their way instead of the right way. In my case, I was not the one who committed something this awful. I am just the one targeted. Just because I didn't get a certain information before being arrested doesn't mean we won't use that. Sure, people respond differently to different situations, but a good psychologist will at least will attest to that. The public's opinion does not matter. I am not going to let others ruin or crucify, steal the word of God out of my heart. I am sure I will even get criticism, persecution, for even mentioning his name on here, but that is okay. Mind you, she never mentioned his name, so you know that.
Wow.
She never did when I reached out to her, told her that, she's a liar, she lied to me, and I went through hell because of her and because I believed her. My seed was planted a long time ago, and I know the people have more faith in their spouses or friends than they do in this word of God. With that said, the Spirit of the Lord proclaim good news to the poor, proclaim liberty to the captive, people captive in prison, proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. It is so well, my soul. As far as the information being sealed, I would agree with you. See, you guys, I did ask her questions. No, I just can't remember what they are. Okay, as for the information being sealed, I would agree that for anyone that faces a public trial, especially from people who are perfect, quote unquote, that document means it's a catastrophe. But I knew what I did and what I didn't do, and it wasn't commit this crime. Sure, someone will read this and say, sure, you didn't. But they fail to okay, find everyone guilty before they even hear their side of the story. You see, there's a DA. Yes, his job. I guess it's his job, especially it's election year. And then there's public opinion, and finally the truth. And unfortunately, you will not hear that until the end. I have no reason to stop my life, no reason to do anything other than pack my bags and leave if I were unhappy. Just giving and answering. God, I don't know that word. Oh, speculations. But regardless, no reason whatsoever, I return from town and murder somebody. That's not a logical thought process of mine or someone. Process of mine who had everything she needed. Thank you. And she dated it 4/1/2020.
Wow. Yeah, I know I would love for you to put those back up. And that's why, yeah, I don't know. I know it's hard because you share stuff and then you get attacked for it, but people want to know. I don't know. It makes it tough. So I just appreciate you sharing with us.
Well,
but wow.
And like I said to you guys when you were on my panel, I wanted to share because I'm looking at those documents, right? Her incident reports. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking, okay, this date and time. She never told me this. You know what I mean? I'm like, she never told me any of this stuff that was happening. But the envelope dated, though, she wrote it that day, but I didn't get it until the April 29th, the envelope says.
Oh, wow. That took forever. Thank you, MK, for gifting those. And then thank you again, Fancy. And again, that was very sweet. And thank you, guys. I got a question about trial, though, before us talking about that goes too far. When you saw her, like, making the faces and flipping off and all this shit in court, what were you thinking? And did you guys ever talk about that?
Yes, I did. I go, what the hell are you doing? What are you reaching for? What is going on in there? She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I go, I watched you. What are you doing in the courtroom? And I guess I didn't see what I thought I saw.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, she was flipping out and all kinds of other stuff, flipping people off, and all kinds of other stuff. Dog Mom, thank you for joining. And then I have questions written down too, but Mayla's mom wanted to know, would you ever reach out to another inmate? And I know that this is something you mentioned on your channel, so I thought I would go ahead and ask you that.
I've talked to many inmates, in my own personal life people that I know, and to other people. If I have a question, I go right to the source. If they choose to write me, they do, and if they don't, they don't. But yeah, there's like a lot, and I'll leave it there.
Are you ever scared though, like doing it, like, or no?
No, not at all.
Wow. Yeah, she's talked to her after the trial, Sarah. Um,
I just wanted to say really quick that the person from the Bible's name that you were trying to say, it's Job. And I remember that not because I'm not religious, I'm more spiritual, but I do remember there being a conversation between Harley and Leticia about Job. And Harley pronounced it Job as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which Leticia was snarky about, but then she mispronounced another word, another biblical name, and I made fun of her for that. I'm not going to lie. I've made fun of Leticia a lot. No regrets. None.
same here, but I do want to know more. It is like I'm always curious about how people can ever get to the point of doing something like this. How can a human, I don't know, how do they even do this kind of stuff?
That's what it was. Pilates instead of Pontius Pilate. She called him Pilates. That's what it was. After she made fun of Harley for calling Job.
Okay. Now, did she ever talk to you about her life in Colorado?
Um,
Or
kind
with
of, kind of, but not really. But she talked to me about South Carolina, about Harley's dad and what happened there, and about Alaska and stuff that happened there. But the feeling I started to get is that Al wasn't around, and then he started cheating on her. And like we talked about on my live, I think that's what she did. Well, we don't know. You'll never get it from her, okay? Um, I think she took it out on Gannon, which is sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what was her name, Heather.
Did she ever talk to you about her relationship with Lena?
Oh yes,
Oh,
she loves that little girl. Yep.
Interesting.
really? What
Yep.
would she say?
That she was always with her. She's a sweet girl. She would sleep in her bed with her.
Wow.
She never talked about Gannon. She never said his name. Well, she would say things here and there, but like I told you guys, I did not want her talking about the case with me. I did not want to be responsible for anything. And that's why here today I don't talk about other cases, especially active ones, because I don't want to be responsible for anything. And plus the hate.
Right.
Okay, what was my point?
With talking about the kids, and you said she never talked about Gannon. She would say little things here and there.
Yeah, except for when I confronted her about she pretty much pled guilty, and that she lied to me, and that upset me, and she owes me an apology, and the hell I went through,
Right.
Sticking up for her, but not sticking up for her in a sense. And then when she wrote me back, she did say, again, it's me. Or the email, whatever.
Do you think Leticia is capable of love? Because I know some people, like Melissa said, she didn't think she was. And I don't know how I feel. Like I have to think about that.
I don't know either. I'm not going to say one way or another, but like going through these documents, which are a lot to go through, I'm kind of shocked about everything. Okay, I think she does have some kind of mental illness, okay? But that don't make you go killing people.
Right.
Right.
I wonder, do you think she's capable of love, Jenn?
I think Leticia is capable of something of a different definition of love than what the rest of the world believes love is, or would define as love. I think for Leticia, Leticia's love for everyone is conditional and contingent upon what they can give to her, how it benefits her. And that's not actual love. But I do think that Leticia does think that it's love.
Right.
I think she's got a very skewed, messed up way of looking at things. And I think if she would quit, I don't know another way to say it, quit fucking around and actually sit with a psychiatrist or a psychologist and be honest, they might have the opportunity to diagnose her and perhaps help her so that she can be, I'm not going to go so far as to say productive while she's in prison, but if not productive, at least not destructive.
Right.
For like the lawsuits and stuff that she's doing, because it's just absolute ridiculous.
See, the reason I'm torn on it is only because because I definitely think she shows signs of narcissism and like being a psychopath or whatever, sociopath, something like that, right? But the doctors were never set on that, like one or the other for certain. So it does make me wonder, does she have any of those feelings that even like if it's just for like Brenda or Harley or the dogs or just even the slightest bit, I'm just not sure because the different physicians who talked about her mental health, they never they didn't all agree on one particular diagnosis. So I'm just technically curious if she is at all capable of it. Now, do I think that she shows that she loves? Based on what I've seen, no. I feel like everybody around her she uses to gain more, even her own daughter. Every time they talk on the phone, kid, I don't know how much you've listened to these calls, but it is straight up abuse. What happens to Harley? She only, she pretends to be 50 different people and asks for money and tells her all these horror stories about prison, but there's not a whole lot of Harley, how are you? What are you doing? What are you up to her own child? So I'm not saying that I'm torn, does she show love or anything right now? I'm just not certain if she's capable of it at all ever, just because of like the different theories on her mental health.
Well, I mean, I do believe that one thing that the psychologists were all sort of came to an agreement on is that she definitely has a personality disorder, and she's some combination of some cluster Bs for sure. And let me be very clear here. Do I think that Leticia is capable of love? No. What I'm saying is, I think Leticia would say that she is. I think she thinks that what she's doing, the way that she talks to Harley, the way that she treats other people, you heard from her letter with Kit that Kit just read, how she describes, giving too much, all of her heart, on and on and on. That's Leticia's version of things. That's Leticia's definition of what she thinks love is. But please don't misunderstand me. It is not mine. I do not think she's capable. I don't.
Right. Now, so I know that you already answered. Melissa had asked, was she aware of everything prior? No, she wasn't. She was aware of some, but not everything. She was pretty surprised to find out she already answered that towards the beginning. But what we didn't ask, which in your question, did you ever read when the probable cause affidavit got leaked? I know you said that when the preliminary hearing happened, you heard a lot of that, but did you happen to stumble across that probable cause affidavit? And if you did, what were you thinking? And she said with the preliminary, she was waiting innocent until proven guilty. I'm just curious if you saw the other stuff that came out and kind of your way of thinking through that.
I was shocked. I honestly did not know what to think, to be honest. And I want to say also with Leticia, and I feel this way because I know other people that she would write to, okay? Mm-hmm. I think she studied each and one of us and got to know okay, she wanted to, okay, she talked to a certain person this way. She talked to me a certain way. You know what I mean? She studied us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Because
agree with
nobody knew I talked to her until August 31st of 2020. I didn't want to tell anybody. And I wasn't going to.
right. So what was your way of thinking through that? Like, were you just so curious to know more about her, and because you had like, was that kind of what you were thinking? And do you feel like you got an honest glimpse at who she was?
I was thinking, how could anybody do this? Is this really for real? Because I was just new at doing true crime.
Right.
Myself. Because I have friends that are locked up, and I've had situations where I know they're innocent. Okay.
Right.
So I got that part of me too.
Well, I still remember when I was new to true crime. Sorry, I had to open the chat on my phone. Where I was new to true crime, and it's just a different world when you're first getting into it. And then if you come from a place where you have loved ones that are locked up and said to have done things they didn't do, I could see why that could make you keep an open mind. Okay, Jen, oh wait, you are a mod on that channel, Jen. You are a mod on there already. Wait, she fell off. Okay. So did she ever talk to you about Aunt Brenda?
Okay, I said to her in the email, let's see, after she got locked up in a prison, I said, and what the hell are you thinking? Having this girl become your power of attorney? I go, what about your daughter or your mother? Woo, I shouldn't have just said that to her.
Ooh.
She did not like that. I have nothing to do with my mother. My Aunt Brenda is like my mother. And she didn't say nothing about Harley.
My Aunt Brenda is like my mother. Wow.
Isn't that interesting, Allie? Because weren't we just talking about that with the last set of calls?
Uh-huh.
It won't let me star the comments. It did one time, but it won't let me do it again. I guess StreamYard caught up. But I wanted to answer Henry. The context is that Kit wrote to Leticia after she was arrested. She was curious about her. She felt like she was innocent until proven guilty. She is different in that from Amy Lang, in that when Leticia would say something, throw it off or out of the way, or that didn't make sense, Kit would take her to task about it. She would ask her about it. And after the trial, Kit did confront her about the lies that she was told. So she's not an Amy Lang by any stretch of the imagination, just so you know.
Yeah, Amy just sits there and goes along with it, and you know that she knows better, and she's just like, yeah, really? Oh.
She goes along and feeds and entertains it. It's ridiculous. Even Harley doesn't do that, and she's, in that moment, and back then, I hope she's less now, but in that moment, in that period of time, she was definitely intimidated by her mother.
Did she ever talk bad to you about Harley or Aunt Brenda or anybody in the family besides Mom?
What I did do, she wouldn't talk about Harley much. So I would talk to her about my daughters and my relationships, you know what I mean? In the sense of, oh, my daughter did this, me and my daughter did that. And she would never, I don't know, she would never say anything about her and her. Oh, well, she did say, Harley did send me a book, something about chicken soup. One of those chicken soup books for her mother, chicken soup for the soul. One of those. Yeah. I go, oh, that's good. But no, it was mainly she'd talk about the case and that she was innocent. But she would talk about my family, okay, my parents. But then every time at the end, it would be about Al. She was taking the fall for Al, and I don't know, he cheated on her and stuff like that.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What was she like? What did she say about Al to you? And that, like, because it's funny how different stories to different people. I don't know. Does she just? I don't know. She just spins and spins and spins.
You knew how I felt about Landon in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Being the mama.
Right.
I would say, oh my God, I feel so bad for her. This is before, anything else. And what she told me, one of the stories, you guys, oh my God, it's so funny. It's kind of sick. That she said that Al would pressure her and Landon for them to have threesomes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding. I'm like, what?
Let me ask you this, Kit. When she would tell you things like that, did she make you feel or straight out ask you to put stuff like that out?
No. But what I did put out on my own was her being crazy. But she did the phone call. I don't know if you got it. Well, she didn't want me to talk about the girl that was having their baby, because I did call her out on that. If you notice on the phone call, I go, did Angela have her baby?
And when did you say that call was from, babe? So I can go back and look and see if find it.
Be let's see, August of 2020.
I don't think we have those calls, babe.
Oh yeah, that's when you're gonna hear all my phone calls with her.
Okay. So what made you decide to put out the crazy call, the things that she was telling you that made her seem like she was going crazy? And before you answer that, let me preface this.
Okay.
For the chat, you have to remember, Kit at that time when these calls and these letters were taking place did not have the benefit of hearing other conversations with Leticia that we've heard, right? So when we listen to Leticia's jail calls, we can hear, like in a day, how she will start off with one story for one person and then switch it up, and so on and so forth. So we get to hear the contradictions. Kit did not in that moment. So that's just a little context for you guys. Okay. Please answer, Kit.
Okay. I think Leticia figured me out in the sense of I wanted to show people that she was different with me, like there was a human side. But then when she would talk and those three people, what are they? Taylor, oh God, what are their names? There's three of them.
Taylor, Janelle, Maria.
And there was one that started with a C, I think. She didn't talk to me. Maria did not come in any of my letters.
Oh, you didn't get to meet Russian Spanish speaking Maria? What a shame.
I did hear her though during the trial.
Who was it, Allie? Taylor, Janelle. What's the other one?
I can't remember. But before I forget, I was responding to Melissa in chat, and I would just want to ask you before I say, okay, so you reached out to her, and then the PCA came out after that, and you saw that. Is that what happened? Just so I get it right, or how did?
Yes, it was after.
Okay, okay. So it wasn't even out to look at when you reach out to her. And then the other names, oh my gosh, I can't remember because
there's Dr. Stauch, there's
Angel, Victoria. The chat will probably know Maria, Zenaida. Is that like Casey Anthony or?
There was three. She talked to me in three different.
Oh.
Well, and then. And I will say this, people, they would come to my channel because they were interested. I'm glad they were. And I said, well, of course, won't you go crazy if you're locked in a room by yourself for 23 hours a day? This is before, we actually really knew anything. And I said, that would make me go a little cuckoo too.
Right.
What is that other name? I'm looking at you putting them on the screen.
Little Lucia, that was another one of her names.
Taylor. I can't think. It's been a while.
That was Taylor, that was one. Did you read the PCA when it came out? So she said yes, she did, and she was shocked. But
I didn't read it right away.
Well, when you read it,
I have problems reading. Okay, if people notice, I struggle with reading, so I do a little bit at a time.
Okay. Well, when you finally did, or when you heard all the stuff from the preliminary, how did that change your relationship with her?
It did. It did. I didn't reach out to her like I had before, because it was usually once a month. And I'm like, no, this ain't good.
Right. Okay.
I mean, let's see, when's the last time I talked to her before? Let's see. Maybe it was beginning of 2022 or 21. I don't know. Almost 2 years, I think. I don't know. I would have to look. Let me look.
Yes, and while you're looking, could you please answer this question? Maybe I'm curious about what she actually told you about the case. Because when you read that first letter, right, she says a lot of things, but she actually says nothing other than I didn't do it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm curious about that. If she actually said anything of substance, and I know that this has to be difficult for you, Kit, because looking back at those letters is also reliving a time in your life, in your personal life, that was very difficult for you and is painful. So I just want you to know that I think you're incredibly brave to be looking back at this and potentially, be bringing up some old memories. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. The last communication I had with her is when I started taking my dad cancer treatment. So it was 2021. It was March of 2021.
Did she ever ask you for money?
Oh, I did talk to her on the phone a few times, though, because she called me after my mom died. She did a crazy phone call to me, and I didn't know. I'm like, who is this? She's like, you know who it is. I'm like, no, I don't. And she tried to put me at the scene of the crime. That pissed me off.
What do you mean by that? Because remember, we don't have a lot of we don't have. The only reason we have the June 2020 calls is because it was, as I like to say, on an accident. The lady from El Paso County, we requested 2021 and June 2021, and she sent us June 2020 on accident. So that's why we have those. We started in October of 2020 because I was very curious about what led up to her deciding to go pro se. I wanted to know if my theory was right, which was that she wanted to get her mitts on her discovery. The calls prove that. So that's what I'm at. That's why I say so we don't have those. So you have to tell us about that.
Well, when she did go pro se, I told everybody that. I went on live. I said she's doing this on purpose to get her hands on the documents, to see what they got. I'm sure.
Right.
Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it until we listened with headphones, her saying that I was there in the closet with the gun. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. So she put me there.
Did she ever oh my God. Okay, I want to come back to that. I need to process it, and I don't want to forget this question. Did she ever ask you for money?
No, she never asked me for money. Yes, I did put money on her books, And I figured I'm writing her, and she had a paper and stamps. So like $20 there, $20 there.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, but she did that crazy call, right? And then let's see, in June is when my mom passed, so I was almost crying. I go, how could you do that to me? You'll hear it. You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Well, we don't have all the calls. We haven't. We're missing a big chunk from June 2021 to February 2022, and then February of 2022. We have ordered those, but we haven't gotten them yet. But that is the call. That is the month where it goes out into the public that she has changed her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity.
Kit, can you elaborate more on this? I'm still reeling from in the closet with the gun.
Yeah.
We don't have that call, babe. Can you help me out?
I didn't know that then at that time.
Right.
Okay. This is okay because of something that happened with somebody here on the internet. Okay. A few months before the trial, stealing somebody's hard work, presented it as their own for their own selfish benefit. I decided with a couple other girls that we were going to go through my stuff that was mine. I mean, she already put it out there, but I did it. And then we started going through the phone calls. Well, a friend of mine, Jules, another day in the car, they enhanced the audio. And then we listened to it with the headphones, and I was totally blown away. And this was just like before the trial. I'm like, what? She put me there.
Right. So these calls, you heard it. You heard the calls before the trial? Right before the trial, I mean? Or did the call take place right before the trial?
Well, see, when I got that call, when she was acting like this person, she was like singing me this weird song, and I'm like, whoa! I started getting creeped out. I'm like, what's going on here? And I think the jail caught on it, and they hung up the phone. The jail did itself, because I'm like sitting there still, right? Oh, my daughters, hold on, I gotta. Okay, my daughter. I'm sorry, it's my daughter messaging me. Okay, where was I?
That's okay.
Okay, so I didn't hear that. Okay. Oh, I think the jail hung up the phone call because she was, I don't know. She said I was in the bedroom, in the closet with a gun. Me. That's what she was saying. She was acting like she was this other person, not Leticia talking. But that's how she was talking. You were in the closet with the gun.
Wow.
And we listened to
Did you ever ask her about that?
No, I totally forgot about it till now, actually.
Wow.
I don't know who she was pretending to be. I have no idea. When she called me she called me in June of 2021, I said, how could you do that to me? You guys will hear it.
Oh. So you did ask her about it on the phone?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. And what did she say when you said, how could you do that to me?
She just laughed.
How did she?
Yeah, she laughed and she goes, I don't remember that.
Oh, wow.
I go, you did, though.
Tabitha, FaceTime video.
Oh, my God, my daughter. Hold on, please.
I heard that call.
Oh, my God.
We might. You're okay.
You're okay. Just make sure you mute so that we don't hear it.
Yes, hear your conversation. Tori, if you remember, we definitely listened to that month already. No, we're not. We're on it right now.
That's what I was about to say. We're on that month. We have, and I can tell
Well,
you, we have not heard any Kit calls
wait, Kathy
so
said we
far.
heard that.
What
The one
which,
where Kit says, yeah, which one?
yeah, you guys, yeah,
Kathy did
you
with
guys got to be more specific. My brain is full up.
Kimberly says, I heard that call and Leticia acted like she did not know what she was talking about. And she said that she was not in her right mind and she did not remember making the call. I totally remember that.
Okay, but
And
that's
Kathy
because
said,
remember, those calls have been played elsewhere. Just because
I don't know
from
because
June
Kathy,
2021.
yes, I know, but I don't know if Kathy, I think Kathy
Oh.
waited to listen with us.
Gotcha.
Oh my God, there was a black spider on me. I think it was a black widow. Oh, and oh man, I swatted it, scared before I got a good look at it. I don't know where I swatted it. There's black widows down here. Freaks me out. Sorry.
Does it have a red thing on it?
I don't know if this one does, but I know the other day there was one down here that did. And he was.
Yeah, because those are definite black widows if they have that red thing.
But this one, it jumped on me, and I have a book in my lap with my own questions. And then, because I've been asking some of the chat, but also my own. And then I guess, out of fear, without looking at it, I just went, ugh, and swatted it. And now I don't know where it's at. Well, shit.
Roro wants to know if you have any cake again so you can chunk it in the ocean.
No.
Allie completely heard that song wrong. I'm telling y'all right now. She heard all them lyrics wrong because nowhere in that song does it talk about chunking no cakes and no oceans.
Yes, I'm outside Saffron. Oh Lord. Okay.
I feel like
Let's see.
Don't you have them? Don't you have the calls written down, babe? From June of 2021?
Some of them, but I could actually hold on. Let me see if it's in this notebook. I can.
Yeah, because if you do, then maybe we can go back and listen to it. Remember that time that Allie, that bunny kind of popped up on Allie, and she thought she screamed real loud into the mic, and it was like this. Ah.
Sorry for screaming in the mic.
Kathy said, she did answer. Hold on, she said it was either a letter or a call, Alex, and at the word case. Why am I reading at? But I remember, how could you do that to me, from Kit.
Oh, okay.
That we played? Because I don't remember that. I do. I feel like I know about the call that Kit is taking place, that Kit's talking about, where she says that she put her, that Kit said that Leticia said, Jesus, that Leticia said that Kit was in the closet with a gun. I do remember a discussion about that call. However, hearing it, no. Okay, and sorry. I do not remember. I don't remember hearing the call that Kit's talking about, where she confronted her about it.
Well, look, Kimberly says it would have only been here, Jenn, Lou's, or Melissa's.
Okay. Well, I'll be right. I'm gonna go look. Give me just a second.
Okay, because that phone call, because I had it too, because when my mom was in the nursing home, I have that recorder on your phone, because I was having problems with the nursing home. And however, when Jules went and enhanced the audio so we could hear everything she was saying, right? That's when we heard it. Otherwise, I did not know at that time.
Okay. Interesting, because a lot of the chat remembers us listening to you asking her, how could you do that to me? And yeah, maybe we can go back and find it. That is so interesting. Okay, so let me see. when did you believe that she was sincere when she would talk to you about anything? Like, do you feel like, now I know you said with your family, so I guess that's already an answer, but do you felt like now that you know everything, you know the truth, you know how much she lies, you know what she actually did and all of that stuff, do you feel like it was sincere now, or do you feel like just in the moment it was?
Honestly, I think she's sincere about my parents because of, death. Honestly.
Okay. Now, what about this? Did she ever tell you about like her cover? Did she ever talk to you about her news coverage and stuff? Because I know that
No,
I've heard her talk to Amy about it, and she would say that they're basically paparazzi outside the jail and stuff.
no. That's like
Oh,
I said,
okay.
I think she studied each and one of us that she was in contact with, and she shared that with that person. She shared that with that person. Because certain things, I told Leticia, I did this, I said this, and I put this out, just so you know.
Okay. Um, what are your thoughts reading through all those incident reports now that now you know what was actually going on in there?
Well, like I said in my live, reading those, I'm going to start looking back, like I said, on my letters to see, and I'm not finding anything.
Okay.
I'm looking at the
No,
date.
you guys are all free to speak your mind. Just keep it respectful. You don't have to agree. You can disagree respectfully. We're never like, I love the conversations, and I want to hear from you. I think you have such an interesting story to tell. Getting so close, like such a close, I don't know if you want to call it friendship with her or whatever. Would you consider her to be your friend at that time?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. And you believed that, well, I know that we've heard her tell other people, and you said she told you she was innocent. So did you believe the trial was going to happen and you were going to be like finding out that they had no evidence against her or whatever?
I knew they had evidence. Okay. But did she really do it?
Right.
Did someone, I always thought, okay, if she did it, it was an accident and somebody helped her get the body away. Jenn's body in Florida. That's what I thought.
Wow. See, I just think that's really interesting because for me, I know the moment I watched her with her back to the camera and then like telling Harley what happened, I thought she did something. Now, I remember when the video came back that showed him coming home, and I was absolutely shocked because that kind of spun me a little bit for a loop in the moment, because I was convinced that he left that morning and didn't come back. And when people were like, no, he's on the video getting out, which I could never see until the trial, but you can actually see the shadow of him getting out. Yeah, that kind of spun my head a little bit, but it's so interesting hearing the different opinions. Okay. Let me see here. What's your biggest takeaway from your communications with her?
My biggest takeaway?
Yeah, like what did you learn from it? What do you think about it walking away?
I learned that you should, if you're going to communicate with these people that are being convicted of these crimes, to guard your feelings, guard yourself, and
Yeah.
don't overshare.
Right. I think that's smart too, because these are true psychopaths that, I mean, if you're capable of doing what she did to Gannon, but really a lot of these people, even if it's not a child, even if it's whatever, these are dangerous people. And a lot of times they've manipulated everyone around them. Look at Aunt Brenda and Harley. They've been, oh, okay. What did she say to you about letting Amy be her power of attorney?
That's when she told me, she goes, she don't like you and she's a meth addict anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
She don't like you. Yeah, well, how does she even know you? Yeah, Jen, where are you at?
I was looking for this call. It's not in June. It has to be in May. So I'll be right
Oh,
back. Let me
okay.
find it. Please hold.
Yeah, that one's in May.
Yeah, I was looking in June. That's why I couldn't find it. But let me go back to May. Please hold. I'll be right back.
Okay, what was I going to say about that? Amy knew who I was. Okay, she was the power of attorney of Leticia. This is after her sentencing or whatever. That's when she said that to me, because Amy is no longer her power of attorney. However, Amy would come. I would put up Landon's GoFundMe. Okay, when I would do lives, that's what I did, because my channel's not monetized. So whatever case I talk about, I put the people's GoFundMe up or Cash Apps or whatever it may be, and Amy would come in there and said that should go to Harley. She would come into my chats like that. Yes, Amy would.
Wow. And say that should go to Harley. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't get me wrong. I feel sorry for Harley. She's, a young adult trying to live out in the world with no parents and not a lot of help. Thank God she has Brenda that has helped her some. But hello, this child was brutally murdered, and his mom has to go back and forth across the country to the hearings and stuff. I'm glad you put her GoFundMe in there. Like, that's the right thing to do. And I just can't get over the nerve of Amy coming in there and saying that. Wow.
Amy was rude.
Did Leticia ever talk?
Do you believe Leticia was pregnant? No, because Leticia told me that their babysitter was carrying her and Alice's child. Yeah, you'll hear in the phone call. I asked her if Angel had her baby.
Oh, wow.
I said, did Angel have her baby yet?
Who did you think Angel was at that time? Her,
really,
her other person?
I thought it was her babysitter. I didn't know no different.
Oh my God. Wow. That's just so wild to me. But you know what? Oh gosh, it just shows you more about who Tisha is. In my opinion, you were going through a lot and a vulnerable person at that time. And I think that she preyed on you for that reason. And, I guess.
I just seen a funny comment. I have to look at it. Have you ever been a victim of a crime? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did she ever, another question that I have written down, did she ever talk to you about her childhood?
Yes.
Oh, really? What did she say?
She told me all the abuse she suffered. Even from her stepdad. She told me about her and Harley's dad. One thing I will say I did notice, that's why I said be careful, don't overshare if you're going to be talking to these people, because there'd be something I talk about like in my life, and then down the road it happened to her. I noticed that.
Oh, interesting. It's like she was using that. I don't know. I think she's
a little piece of what happened to me.
I wonder if that, we heard about her alleged abuse that she suffered, and this is part of her defense of why she got DID, which I do not believe that she has. Now, I'm not saying she didn't suffer from that abuse, but remember, her brother, he was kind of lost on where her childhood was so awful. Yes, he's a lot younger. Maybe he didn't see it all. But she can be both a victim of that and also having still done what did what she did. But I guess part of me kind of always wrote that off to be not true at all. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting that she talked. I wonder though. Okay, so when, like, for instance, when she would talk to you about that, or all the different crazy, changing personalities she would do and stuff like that, you said you put it out on your channel that she was having these crazy moments in your guys' conversations. Do you feel like she wanted you to do that? Did she ask you to do that? And what did she say when she knew that you?
I felt she knew I would. She never asked me. I think she knew that I would, because that would I'm like, oh my God, she's not normal. But then yet you have Amy that was going around on the internet watching everybody and reporting to her about each person.
Well, there's somebody that still does it because,
yes,
So I did a video not long ago, and I am on the Getting Out app. I can't delete it. I have, for personal reasons, I have to have it. At one time, that wasn't the case, and I did delete it for a while. But so now, I'll see pretty quickly, no matter what. And she sent me a message on there and said, what you put up on your video isn't true. I didn't ask for a pen pal. Basically, just in response to the post about her that went up, her looking for a pen pal, I put that out in a little short video, and somebody, went back and told her, and that happened more than once, but that was the most recent.
Right.
No, Henry, I think I said it. I think I said Tisha does that. I do believe she does that. I understand that Kit reached out to her, but I think that Kit, or Tisha, she can spot vulnerability in people, and she can spot when people are more gullible than usual, or even if they're just gullible in general or whatever. I think that she can spot that, and I think that she takes advantage of that. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. No, it's not an excuse for what she did, Julie. I completely agree. Let me think here. I know I've got some more, but I passed up them. 1 second. Jen, did you ever find it?
Yeah, I've almost got it. Just give me a sec.
Okay. And then do you guys have any other questions in the chat that I can ask her, Did she ever tell you how Chance really passed away? I have an opinion about that. I thought about that when you said it, actually, Kit. So did you see that Harley did not know how he truly passed away until right before the trial?
Yeah, I heard that. She told me that he died of a drug overdose.
Okay, so she told you the truth.
Yeah.
But yet this is something that always bothered me. It just seems so abusive and evil. Why in the world would you tell your daughter that her dad passed away from an armed robbery? That's freaking scary for a kid. And then she finds out the truth right before trial. Like, I don't know why you would ever do that. It makes no sense to me. Maybe, I don't know. Natasha.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'll save it.
When her brother went on the stand saying, "Why, Leticia, why?" That was crazy. Her brother?
Yeah. Absolutely, it was. That was heartbreaking. Okay, let's see here. Hold on. I meant to star two, and then I starred the wrong ones. Here's one of them. Okay, 2 questions from the chat. Do you still care about Leticia, and when is the last time that you spoke to her?
Last time I spoke to her was a month ago.
Oh, okay. Was that a phone call or a letter?
Oh, I don't talk to her on the phone. It was an email.
Oh. Interesting. And do you still care about her?
No, I don't.
How do you feel like taken advantage of? Do you have any kind of feelings like that, like negative feelings towards her? because of like lying to you so much and stuff like that?
Yeah, and the hell I went through, and the during the time of what I was going through.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. So does she just like email you on getting out, or is it on
No. Well, I say
like an email?
because everything I do is on my laptop. But she knows what state I'm in, and she just thought she would check in with me, see how I am, to see how my dad's doing, to give me crap about our team here, whatever, basketball. I don't watch basketball. Team is losing. Just that's it.
Wow. And do you respond? And do you think you'll keep open
I
correspondence?
had it with that one. Oh,
Okay.
I can't say yes. I can't say no.
Right.
I
Hey, I
mean,
appreciate the honesty. I appreciate you being willing to answer any of these, because it's giving insight, and it's just a lot to think about, and kind of what she does with. We've heard some of the calls you've been on too. We've seen every incident report. We've seen all the records from the case file. We've been down such a long road of kind of learning and gathering the facts about this case. And yeah, so it's just so interesting to be able to talk straight to you, and I appreciate you being willing to answer. Let me see here. Do you think that she has any remorse? Did you ever feel that?
Like I said, I found it odd she was finally able to say Gannon's name. I don't know if she has remorse. I don't think.
You don't think so?
No.
Did Tisha ever mention anything inappropriate that may have happened with Uncle Tommy?
No.
Okay. Tommy, that is Brenda's, I think he's passed away now, but we've heard a lot of talk about him on their phone calls. I guess, they went out together on Valentine's Day. They had a special relationship. They both loved seafood, and, they had just a relationship that we hear her and Brenda discuss.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brenda will be like, oh, if Uncle Tommy was here, he'd want to go get crab legs. Brenda and Harley were together on a call and talking with Tisha about it. And yeah, it's come up a few times. I can't remember.
Do you think
every way
Harley's still talking to her mom?
Yes and no. It was said at one point that they weren't. But I could see somebody opening up communication with their mom again in this circumstance, even if they were not, even if doing what Tisha had done. It is her mom after all, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, when I was watching that video, how she got on Harley because she seen bottle of booze behind her. And then I watched Harley like clam up and not really say much while Leticia was talking to her like she is. And I want people to also understand, like, you guys are just seeing these phone calls with her, and I'm shocked just like all of you are.
Right.
Because of what she's telling that person, what she's saying to that person. I'm like, wow.
Does it make you, listening and seeing the video visits, listening to the calls, does it make you not want to have anything to do with Leticia? And the reason I ask that is because I think it's well established, and I think you would agree, that Leticia is a lying liar face who tells lies. And so what would be the point of having a conversation with somebody who's just going to bullshit and lie to you. So that's how I feel. So I'm curious if you feel the same way. Also, side note, after being dumb and trying to actually search our channels for the stupid call, even though I'm the one who actually did the calls for May, and I could have just looked in my videos, my privated videos, and found it in 2 seconds. I realized that after looking for too long, but I did find the call, by the way, that we're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, I found
oh.
it. It had, yeah, I did. I got it. I got it. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Okay, hold on. Let me.
I will say what we had to do though is we had to mess with the audio. We had to put it through a program so we could hear everything she was saying, and headphones.
Then I don't think this is that one. This is the one where you ask her, why did you do that?
Oh, okay.
Right, Jen?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that okay
Yeah, that's
with
fine.
you? Or we can, okay.
All right, hold on. Give me just a second. Because I touched something like an idiot and now I don't have it. Hold on. Will y'all talk amongst yourselves? Give me just a sec.
Okay, Natasha, which name? And maybe I can, whatever, if it's a question or something. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And Fancy, thank you for being here. And then, yeah, I know I don't know. I know that people may have their opinions or whatever, but I definitely appreciate all you guys trying to keep it classy and have the conversation. I appreciate you being here, Kit. And I can't, I'm not going to judge you for whatever. I'm curious and I have a lot of questions and I appreciate you answering them because it gives me a little bit of insight. And yeah, so thank you. And thank you to the chat for also asking questions and, keeping it classy.
All righty. Ready? I'm going to make the volume.
Enter the area code and phone number you are calling now.
I see people, they don't get the real me on my case, but they'll, it's all sideways and people get the wrong image. But I respect you for being kind no matter what, because in the end, I'm not what they.
Please hold. Please wait while your call is being connected. Please hold. Hello. This is a collect call from an inmate at the El Paso County Criminal Justice Center. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up. Your current balance is $9.78. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hey, Leticia.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Did you get to see your mom on Mother's Day?
Yeah, my mom's not doing good, Leticia.
She's not. I'm so sorry. I thought about you yesterday, but I figured you'd be with your mom, so.
My mom's got cancer.
Wait, she's got cancer now?
Yeah, I don't want to cry.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got a phone call. It said it was from you. And they were saying, calling you Terry, and you have a song for me, and I know what you're up to. It came from Colorado. But anyways, that day I found out my mom had cancer.
Wait, was it me that called?
It didn't sound like you, and I said, Leticia. I go, this ain't Leticia. And then they said, well, you know my code name. I go, I don't know no code name. It was awful. It was just awful.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, if it was me, I'm sorry. I could have been crazy and out of my mind, but I don't.
I don't know. But,
Yeah. I'm
so
sorry.
we found out,
Oh,
you had cancer, okay. We can deal with this. We got this. It's already spread through her body, Leticia.
God. Mm. And you're already dealing with that with your dad.
Yeah, I am.
There's nothing I can, people can say, because I'd be lying to you if I said it's going to be all right. I'm not one of those people that believes in telling people that it's going to be all right, because I just don't. All I can say is I hope, that your mother knows, of course, about the Lord, Jesus Christ, and that if something was happened, that she, be in a better place, and that's what's most important. So if she doesn't, just make sure you, let her know all about him,
Yeah, she's my best friend. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going through all different emotions. I go through denial. I go through anger. You know what I mean? But when I'm with her, I don't let her see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And people don't understand that. Like, people don't understand how people can block their emotions like that, but I'm
Do you feel like you confronted her more after this? Because I don't want to make you relive this part, Kit. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I want to say the first thing I want to say before you even get into that, I am so sorry for what you were going through here, and I agree. We can always listen to it at another time, and it's totally up to you. And yeah, did you feel like it was more after that, or yeah, you let us know, because and I'm so sorry for what you've been through, and I am so sorry that you've been taken advantage of along the way, or whatever, that you believed that she was innocent or any of that. So yeah, because it's just a tough time for you, and I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm awkward when I'm awkward. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I don't want to listen to it anymore. You guys.
I didn't think you would, and I think we get the gist of it. She, you did ask her, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And she basically gave you bullshit like she always does. I must have been crazy out of my mind. No, you were not crazy or out of your mind. You're just a cruel individual. She's just cruel.
Riley, that's a good point. We should have heard the other call. Kit, did it come from the jail, the other call?
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't just a random number or something like that really could have been someone trolling her. It was from the jail.
Yeah.
Do we think both calls came from around the same time? Is that what we think?
Yeah, they're around the same time. There's like
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will say I see that you confronted her May 9th. Okay. And I have every single call written down that she made in May, and I don't have it in May. Does that mean that that there was no call? No. Or that it wasn't in May? Also, no. What it could mean is that it was one of the calls that was redacted that we didn't get.
Oh.
Those happen too.
Yep.
It is.
And Riley said the same thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a call that's redacted. I don't know why they would redact that, unless. Well, didn't you say that the jail hung up the call?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Wow, the jail hung it up, and then we don't have it. I bet. And if we still had the list, we can see what's redacted.
Oh, I think I might have the list somewhere. I mean, I don't. I might still have those. I might actually. That's a big fat lie. I think not an intentional lie though. I think I actually finally deleted all of the calls that I had downloaded because they're taking up a lot of space, and yeah. But I might have them. I can look.
There's a comment I want to address here. It makes no sense to me that Kit productively calls a murderer in prison looking for some kind of solace. The solution is simple. Don't call a liar and a murderer. Call someone else, please. She called me. I didn't call her.
Right. She called you, and you were just down at the time, and she asked what you were doing. That's the way I took it. But
Yeah,
I can't.
I just got back from seeing her at that particular time because I spent every day with my mom until she died the day of.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so
Just even
sorry.
hearing that call, it hurt. hurt my heart for you so much. And honestly, if I would have known exactly what was on it, we would have just listened to it later, clipped out the part where you confronted her, something like that. Because,
No,
Yeah,
I
I didn't
haven't.
I
know
just-
what was. I couldn't
haven't
remember
even
that
heard-
call at all, and I'm sorry. Should not. Yeah, I'm.
No, it's okay. I haven't even heard it. So.
no, Melissa, she went and saw her mom in person. She didn't
Oh,
see
no.
Tisha.
No.
I don't think Leticia ever had a actual in-person visit with anybody while she was awaiting trial, other than her attorneys.
Well, remember, hey, Brandy, Brenda wanted to, and Tisha told her no.
Right.
A matter of fact, then, Kit, I don't know if you saw this, but I'd be curious to know kind of what she said about her attorneys, because we heard Brenda tell Tisha that she was told by the attorneys not to come to trial. And then later, I don't know if you saw this, but there was an article published, right, with attorneys who didn't like their clients. And it didn't list who the attorneys were, but one of them, the attorney, was certainly talking about Tisha. He says he had a client in Colorado who killed a child, and she was laughing and flipping people off, and how everyone was so angry at them for even representing her, and he couldn't stand her, but he had to do his job, basically. Have you ever seen that article?
No.
Oh, I gotta show you that, but I'll send that to you. But yeah, did she ever talk to you about her attorneys or about Caitlin, that
The
other girl?
female ones, she said they were working for the DA.
Hey, Allie, I'll be right back. Nestor's not having a good night. I'll be right back, though. Okay.
Okay.
Just give me a sec.
She said that they were working for the DA. Oh, wow. Yeah, Tisha, it's not just the evidence against you shows what you did. It's all of these conspiracies. Did she also tell you like something about a cell phone? Like she had this video on her cell phone that would prove she was innocent?
On an iPhone. Yeah, she has her ace on the hole or whatever it may be.
Oh, Scott, I'll definitely link it on a community tab for you. Yeah, the ace in the hole. Remember, she even said that at one of her hearings. When you saw her like on the hearings and she was typing into her arm and kind of spinning circles, like what we saw, did you believe she was really mentally ill, or did you ever think along the way she's faking this? I know she's faking.
Well, I would go back and forth that she was faking it, but then I'm like, okay, she's in a cell. She's been by herself for a whole year in a cell.
Yeah. Which does cause those kind of issues. People that they have studied, people who are in solitary confinement, truly it can impact your mental health. Now, I don't believe that's what happened with her, but that does happen. Did she ever talk to you about the vampires and all that kind of stuff?
She's a vampire in training.
Oh, God. Yeah, so she did. Well, what did you think when you heard this lawsuit that she was trying to file against? Because not only is there this one that I've been showing the recent stuff that she's tried to file against the Kansas Department of Corrections, but she's also filed in the past against the Trinity Foods that bring the food to the Colorado jails, and something like maybe Colorado. I can't remember exactly, but it's not her first one. But yeah, what do you think about the lawsuit?
It made me laugh.
Yeah.
You're seeing her, everything that she's done in Colorado, she is doing here now. Notice?
Wow. Okay, hold on one second. One more question for you, and then I know that, I know you can go whenever you need to. I know this has been quite a lot for you, but did she ever talk to you about her son?
Yeah, she told me that she had a son, but she's trying to keep him safe.
Wow. See, and I swear what I believed from the beginning I remember there was a letter from her that was made public, a letter to the judge. And when this letter came out, I thought she's trying to explain away her DNA. And I believe that that was the only thing she could come up with. She tried to explain away everything. And you guys, Kit hasn't looked at everything as close as we have, because when I talked to her the other day, she had not heard the pretext phone calls. So on our channels, we requested, and we have, the calls they played in court. There was several hours that weren't played in court, and they're like on the channels. But yeah, so you haven't even heard everything, which is just. I don't know, if I was you, I'd be wanting to see it all, especially after knowing her up close and personal.
Right.
But thank you so much for coming on. And I really do appreciate you answering. And I'm so sorry for old wounds that this may have opened. And I hope that, even though I know it's hard for people to understand sometimes, I think. And I hope that you will still continue to share and share about your communications with her, what she said, all of that, because I think it's an important part of the story. And that's why I wanted to make sure I wanted to chat, and the mods have been on the chat to keep it respectful, because you have a story to tell, and we can't expect you to get on there and tell it with people being rude to you or whatever. Who's going to do that? So I just want to say, I know that it's a lot. I know that it's tough, and people have their opinions, and I just want to say thank you for doing that. I appreciate it really
You're
so
welcome.
much.
And like I told you on my panel, I think this is going to help me to go through all this. Remember I told you guys that?
Yeah, help you process it and help you.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to drop your link. And then again, I know it's not important. My channel's monetized. Jenn's, Melissa's, like, there's nothing wrong with a monetized channel, but I do want you guys to know that your channel's not monetized. And to me, if I think that people would have even more questions if it was, or something like that. This wasn't for you to like get rich off of. This is just something that you were interested in, and you did. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I have to say also that I admire your honesty. I mean, you came up here, you know that people have very, very strong negative feelings regarding Leticia. Hi, I'm people. It's me. I have very negative feelings about Leticia Stauch. But you were honest about why you contacted her in the first place. And I admire that, because Amy Lang came in saying, oh, I always knew she was guilty. I wanted to get in the mind of her, blah, blah, blah. You know what we all heard it, that interview. And the fact of the matter is, we know now from hearing all of the 11 billion calls and seeing the video visits that I don't think that that's the case. I don't think she was being,
So, like the calls with Amy, she was saying one thing to Leticia and then another thing to the public?
Well, so when Amy came out, she came public after Leticia's trial. And she went to a creator who's no longer on the platform, Critical K.
Oh, I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, and she gave an interview. I believe, if you want to see it, I think, Allie, isn't it still on the Glares page, babe? On his channel?
Yes. Actually,
Okay.
Melissa, no.
Wait.
Well, it is on the Glare, but Glare used all these sound effects and different stuff. And Melissa Jade she went and purchased it and did a review of it. I'm going to drop her link right now. So it's up there without all the
I feel awful. Melissa, please don't hazmads at me. I forgot that you did that. I'm so sorry. Go watch it on Melissa's. Everybody go watch it on Melissa's.
Yes, thank you, because never mind.
Yeah.
I'll see what I think.
So when she came out, when she went on Critical Case, what she said was that she always knew that she was guilty, and she was trying to get inside the mind of a killer. And I will say this. If I don't agree with, if that's what she was truly doing, I don't agree with her approach.
Yeah.
Because
then she
became her secretary, her gopher.
Yeah.
And I think she served a couple of people for Aunt Brenda.
Yeah. She did. Became friends with the family, became her secretary, took part in, some really gross conversations, and recorded all of them, and then went to social media and sat there and let Leticia lie straight to her face and say the dumbest shit and never called her out. And that's why, like Jenn said, if you guys missed it, we went on Kit's channel the other day and she showed this letter from Tisha around the time of Tisha's escape. And she didn't have her letter she sent, obviously, but she has her response. And Tisha's like, no, I'm not screwed. And I'm just not going to, like, basically, I don't know why you sent me such a rude letter, because Kit sent her a letter and was like, what the hell are you doing? That was dumb. Like, what, like calling her out for it. So, Amy never did that.
Yeah.
She sat there and let her say that.
In my letter, I did say, I go, if you're trying to escape, then you're guilty then. Remember her come back in that letter?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
she's glad I'm not the judge and the jury, or she's glad I'm not going to be in the jury. And
yes, she was super rude. She was super rude. So essentially, Henry, in 2 sentences, the reason that Kit reached out to Leticia is she saw the case and she believed in the innocent until proven guilty, and she reached out to her. She didn't understand how things could go this way. This family seemed to have everything. So she was curious and she reached out to her. And Debbie, to answer to you, let me scroll up really quick here. You have heard the calls between Leticia and Kit, Debbie. We put them under unknown YouTuber because at the time, that's what we decided would be the best thing to do. We weren't sure. I didn't speak to Kit. I didn't know Kit, and we weren't sure that she wanted to be known that way. And so we felt like it would be, at the time when we were getting these calls, a lot of her stuff on Leticia had been privated. And so I, just out of respect for another creator, that's how we did it. So you have heard them. The ones that have been released to us, you've heard.
Yes. Yeah.
People knew it was me anyways, but just so people know, I didn't put my stuff on private intentionally. Well, yeah, I did, because I was being told I'm in it for the money. Well, that ain't true. Then it was for the content. I'm like, bullshit. It's all going on private now. I ain't there for the attention. I was sharing with the people my experience. Now, when that one creator took it upon herself to share my information and use it as her own, then the hate came again to me. I'm like, bullshit. You know what? I'm not going to deal with this. It ain't
Well, I don't blame you. I would probably, that's why I wanted, like, people don't have to agree. They don't have to, whatever. They can feel however they feel. And I love you guys. I love my chat. And you guys can disagree with me, agree or disagree with the guest. But just keeping it as respectful as we can to have the conversation. No wonder you won't feel like talking and sharing your story if people are being, so rude. I don't blame you. Like, I wouldn't either. Why just go online to take a beating for nothing? So I get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? You guys have always been so kind to me, and so has your chat. Always. Anytime I've come over here to listen to you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And thank you.
It's important. I want to hear everybody's opinions, and I agree with Allie. It's important. I want to hear everybody's thoughts, as long as you do it respectfully. We don't all have to agree. There's a lot of things that even Allie and I don't agree 100% of the time. We disagree all the time. Not all the time, but we have disagreed like 4 times, maybe 5, but still. We did it to each. We did it respectfully, and it did not cause us to, break up over it, and then trash each other on the tubes. So
No, we would never.
We would never. I would never do that. I would never do that.
On Cray, I ain't gonna hit you. But Boho Hobo says, Kit, I was being abused by a narcissist when my mother was dying. It's a horrible combination of things to go through, love and prayers.
Thank you. Someone
yeah.
just asked about my accent and the region I live in, the Midwest.
Yes, of course you probably call it pop, right?
Yes, Pop.
Pop.
Oh gosh. Well, I want to thank you everybody for hearing me. This is going to be a healing thing for me, like I told Jenn and Alex on my panel the other day.
Well,
And
thank you.
so I guess I am, looking for some kind of peace for myself. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'll never get it from her, right? Right.
No, you won't, babe. You won't. I'm sorry, but you won't. You're never. Even if. Let me just say this. Even if she were to call you right as soon as you get off this panel, and say everything that you think you want to hear from her, it's not going to bring you peace and it's not going to bring you closure because you know she's a liar. And so anytime you communicate with her, you're always going to be wondering, was she being honest? Was she being genuine? It'll always leave you wondering,
Right.
and to be quite frank with you, not only is her crime horrific, but I think further communication with her is only going to remind you of a very difficult time in your life.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people in chat were warning you about that, saying kind of, protect yourself from now on, because
that's what I tried to say to the people before. Please guard yourself, your feelings, everything, if you're going to reach out to people like this.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why I would share everything.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope you see all the loving comments. Thank you for sharing your perspective. It was very brave to put yourself out there and share your story. Best wishes and healing. I wish you nothing but healing and positivity, and I do too. And you say that we're kind to you. You've been kind to me, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. I really
Absolutely.
do.
Well, I'm just glad to find you all.
I'm glad you did too. I'm glad that we found
it was by accident too.
Well, and I fixed the little hiccup from today,
Yes,
Kit.
thank you.
What had happened is the first calls that were with you and Leticia were played on my channel, and we wanted to protect your anonymity. And so what I had done was, in case people in the chat felt the need, or in the comments afterwards felt the need to say it, I was worried they would say either your channel name or your government name, and I didn't want that for you. So I blocked both of those names from my channel. And I totally forgot that I did that. And then Allie was like, Jenn, hello. And I was like, oh gosh, I forgot I did that. So yeah, it's fixed now.
Yeah, because I come into your other lives, once I first met you, and it's like, well, she don't see me. She's busy talking. But today I wanted to get there in that Gypsy Rose, and I was giving, my comments about the fancy thing.
Oh, I'm so sorry, babe. I fixed it. I'm so very, very sorry about that. Yeah. You yourself are not blocked, but because obviously your channel name is a name that is blocked, I just didn't want anybody doxing you. That's all. I was worried that would happen. It'd be one thing if they said your channel name, but you know how people can be sometimes on these YouTube streets, and I was worried about it. And so just to prevent that, that's what I did. But it's fixed now.
Okay, good. All right, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Hope you have a great night too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, Bendy, Melissa Jade has a live at 9:30.
Does she?
Yes, and
Is it a live singing Jenn Lew's praises?
I don't know about that, but I think it is a teacher thing. I've been putting the link in the chat, you guys, and I'm going to drop it again right now. But before we go, I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. So we're still waiting on these not guilty by reason of insanity calls. And yeah, so you guys, I think we're going to, try to figure out if there's an estimated delivery date or something like that. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on June's call, the rest of June, and you've got the rest of the video visits. So we do have
Absolutely.
some other things that we're working on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and can I just say that I thought you did a fantastic job tonight, Allie. I really did. I thought your questions that you ask are always insightful and caring. I'm like a fucking steamroller. Like I just ask it. I try to be sensitive, but sometimes I just can't. I just am missing that a little bit. It's just part of the magic that is me. Believe me, I am sensitive to people's feelings. So it just sometimes when I want to know something and I'm trying to be tactful, I have to come out a little bit cold. Otherwise, it'll all get jumbled up worse than it usually does. So you did a really good job. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. But I also think you did a great job. And I really appreciate you being up here with me. And because you kind of balance me out. And in moments, it's a tough conversation to have. And I do like even with the call we called, it's sad to hear. And I don't know. You helped me. I'm awkward when I get in certain situations. I can't think of what I want to say just thank you, because you help me balance me out so much. And besides that, I think you asked really great questions, and I never thought you came across cold at all. And in fact, at the end, I felt like you were very kind and caring and compassionate and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Look what Scott wrote. Jen Liu asks questions like a graduate of the Nancy Grace School of Journalism of DeVry University. Listen, I never at any point said, Kit, and then ask a question, yes or no, like Nancy did. Okay. I was a little more sensitive than that.
No, I have to find this article. Scott had never seen that article of the attorneys speaking about the clients they don't like. What was it with? I can't remember was it E?
No, like maybe In Touch.
Okay, let's see.
Just Google anonymous attorneys speak out about clients. Just Google it like that. And also, I have to say that I'm not offended. I kind of am a little offended. I feel like Nancy Grace is like the OG tragedy pimp in some ways now. She might not have started out that way, but and I will tell you this right now, my hair is not as high as her. Nancy has a bump on the back of her lob that is, whew. She was right up there next to Jesus. That thing's so high. And I know she's from Georgia and the South, and the higher the hair, the closer to Jesus. So she must be super close to Jesus. No, I know, Scott. I think it's funny. I can laugh at myself. Like, I know that I am a flawed individual. I try to make light and make fun of my flaws and take it with a sense of humor and have thick skin, but I tried not to offend or negatively impact people with my flaws. I try to use my flaws like inappropriate jokes and, like when things are serious, breaking it up with humor. That is a flaw. And I try to use it for good.
No, I think you do a great job. Damn, I can't find it, man. Hold on. Let me try one more thing.
Look it up on your channel. You covered it, babe.
I know, but I don't know I don't think I did a standalone video on it. About not liking their clients.
Let me look. Let me find a different way to search. I'll search. I feel like.
Oh, got it.
Got it? Good.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to pull it up because we have a minute, and then I'll let you guys go. But if you haven't seen this, it's BuzzFeed. I'm pretty sure this is
there. You go.
This is very interesting, and I do believe it's Leticia about Tisha.
Oh yes, of course. Who else could it be about? what other person has he represented that murdered a kid?
Well, he doesn't. He's not named, remember? But it's everything else in it, like
Yeah.
the 11. I think it even says 11-year-old boy. But all right, I'm pulling it up, and I'm gonna show y'all.
All right.
Lawyers anonymously can What did I say?
I think you were trying to say anonymously, but I don't know what came out your mouth.
Melissa said I had the link. Yeah, I said I don't fucking know. Actually, I'm not even gonna try. Lawyers anonymously confess the clients they regret representing, and it's actually disturbing. So let me find this one. Not mistress, not that. Hold on. I will link this in a chat too, so you guys can have it. But just give me just a second.
I don't really have anything to say while we pass the time, so I'm just gonna ramble inanely until Allie starts talking again. She give y'all some inane babble.
That works. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right. I worked with a client who was a pathological liar and killer. This was a big case, and more than one attorney represented her. I believe that every person deserves representation in court. I believe in due process and the law. It's something that matters a lot to me, but I was not prepared for the death threats or the hate I would get for representing her. I was just doing my job. I didn't choose her. I didn't want this case. It ruined my public image and the way people see me. I've gotten letters to my house calling me a snake, greedy, or sicko. The threats didn't stop after the case. It didn't help to have a client who was dishonest, even to her attorney. There was no winning the case. It was a disaster, and I didn't sleep for the majority of it. She was found guilty. What she did was truly horrible, and I'm glad justice has been served. He says, I was just doing my job, and as an attorney, you don't always like the client. When the court appoints you to represent someone, it doesn't mean that you believe them or want them to go free. The amount of people who think I am best friends with her is absurd. Asking, how can I sit beside her and defend her? How can I be so stupid to believe these outlandish lies? How can I want her to go free? I don't. I'm doing my job. Doing my job cost me my reputation as a good person. Everyone thinks I'm on the team of a child killer and like them and want to help them when that was never the case. Please don't judge us. Sometimes the court appoints you and you do the best job you can. It doesn't mean you don't want justice or that you want an evil person to be free. I couldn't stand this client, and she belittled every witness as they testified, smirking and whispering to us, and I get home to see child killer laughs and jokes with her attorney as gruesome details and photos of 11-year-olds shown. I told her to stop talking and sit still. I was happy with the verdict, and I believe the jury made the right choice. I still have to look over my shoulder and receive threats daily. It will never end for me. 50, Colorado.
There you go.
So,
and I think that's important for people to remember, is that as an attorney, ideally, a defense attorney would love nothing more than to have an actually innocent client. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, take Leticia, for example, she is not actually factually in no way, shape, or form is she innocent. And so you have to work with what you are given. And it's not that he was trying to get her to go free, because if that were the case, then she would have pled not guilty, period. But she didn't. She pled not guilty by reason of insanity. So it was never going to, yes, there still had to be, she did have to get found guilty. But, at the end of the day, that plea is an affirmative defense. And so basically what his job was to prove that she was insane at the time of the murders. And that's it. And, like the attorney was for Sarah Boone, I personally believe the reason that there's so much conflict that exists between Sarah Boone and all of her attorneys is because Sarah Boone is trying to go on an actual innocence claim, as if she did not have anything to do with what happened to George. And an attorney, a good attorney, an ethical attorney, is not going to get up there and lie for his client or her client. And I think that is, I mean, obviously, it's probably like 37% Boone herself. I mean, she's just not a likable gal. And then the other part of it is what she is expecting out of her attorneys. And that's, it is what it is.
Well, and I want to let you guys know. So Henry and someone else, I think, Natasha too, said, laughing with her is gross. So that was Will Cook, the one that was laughing with her and stuff. Tolini was the other guy, and his age would be the one who adds up here. So Josh Tolini, he's now 51. But so I believe that was Will Cook, the one that was right, to
Correct.
the left of her. Yeah, that was laughing and stuff. And this was the other one, but I also was pissed off watching that. So I get it.
Oh, yeah. But then Cook came to the realization. Do we have that picture, Allie, of Will and Leticia sitting side by side where he's just like, we are so fucked?
No, yes, I don't have it like on hand, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And yeah. And what about the video of them all drinking out of the same cup?
Yes. That was weird.
Debbie, no, you're fine here. I didn't really see all of your comments. I understand it's hard some people don't understand. I'm going to just choose kindness no matter what with everybody, including you guys. And if you don't understand or whatever and have your feelings, that's okay. Just please try to be kind to the mods, kind to the guests while they're here. You can leave and have your thoughts about it. That's fine. And, we can keep it pushing. We don't all have to agree. And that's all right with me. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My favorite pick, Jin Lu.
That's why it's in the intro, because it just says, his face just says it all.
But not nearly as bad as Will Cook should have. Yeah, I don't remember seeing Tolini doing the other one.
I don't either. In fact, I do. If I remember I know I remember correctly. Remember where Leticia started out during the trial?
Mm-hmm.
Tolini and Cook had their own separate table, and then the rest, and then there was it was made like an L with another table. And Leticia sat all the way over there. And it wasn't until she started flipping off the witnesses, throwing up gang signs or whatever the hell, she was trying to do, not actual gang signs, but, Leticia, how she thinks she's part of something. Just acting a straight fool. And then, that's when they sat her between her two attorneys. Initially, they didn't even want to sit next to her.
That's a great point. It started out with her at her own table until she wouldn't stop her shit. And then imagine, I can't imagine, what he says here, coming home to seeing on the news, child killer laughs with attorneys, or all the different things that people were saying. I was mad at him too, but not specifically Tolini as much as the other, but still it would be hard. But look, they're public defenders. They're kind of giving cases, and it's pretty hard. Actually, you can get out. We've seen attorneys asked to be let off cases. We've also seen judges say, hell no. So, you can't, I don't know.
I think that the reason that they put her over there, you guys, is because where she was, her back was up against a wall. And I think that because of her crime, particularly the fact that she pled not guilty by reason of insanity, that is admitting that you committed the crime, but that you were insane at the time that you committed the crime. And I think why they had her over there was that the gallery did not have access to her. I think it was actually for the court's own security and protection, frankly. They didn't want, anything happening. And it's a highly emotionally charged case. And I think that's why they sat her over there, was for that reason. It was easy, for them to be able to keep an eye on her, and she couldn't really go anywhere or do anything. She was basically boxed in. And so,
Yeah, I wish I had that video of them sharing the drink. I would show it right now because a lot of people missed it. Maybe I can find it, and during our next calls, I'll show you. But yeah, it wasn't Tisha sharing the drink, but
no.
it was like Tolini takes a drink out of the styrofoam cup, sets it down on the table. Will takes it, picks it up, takes a drink, sets it down on the table, and then Tisha just laughs
And pushes it away from her. Which I'm going to tell y'all right now, it was towards the end of the trial, and I think it might have been, if it were me, it would have been a shot. I'm not even going to lie, because at that point I would have been like, I'm done sitting next to this heffalump. She smells bad. She acts a fool, and I don't want to be sitting this close to evil.
Yeah. Oh, the evil would rub off on you, I believe. Sit there with her every day.
Oh, Mayla's mom. Maybe it wasn't Mayla's mom. I don't remember who asked for it, but here y'all go. Shut up, Tisha.
It was Mayla's mom.
Was it Mayla's mom? Okay.
Yeah. And thank you to my mods. I appreciate you guys, all of you so very much. I really do. In the chat, you guys are the bomb. And just thank you for being here and, joining the conversation and trying to understand even things that you don't understand. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop Melissa Wade's link. She has a live tonight, and let me see what it even is. So I can tell y'all if I can find my phone. There it is. Hold up. Melissa Jade. I think it's a Tisha thing, but I want to make sure. So it is Descent into Madness, The Downfall of Leticia Stauch, Part 2. Tony, thank you for being a member 10 months. I know this is so cliche, but I'm overdue. Thank you.
Have you tried walking?
Yeah.
I feel for any of you women, any of you ladies that gave birth that way. I had C-sections. Don't know what labor feels like. I don't know any of that stuff, but it's not like I wasn't on the floor with that, with the women that were having labor and everything like that. And I did empathize and sympathize for them, so.
Well, I had babies both ways, and let me tell you what, it's just as painful with the C-section as the other, because the healing with the C-section is so awful. It's just so bad.
Yeah, there is a bit of that healing that has to take place, and you sort of like for the first week, you kind of can't really walk. You more like shuffle.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I brought Minnie Bindi home, that's what I was doing, and I kept like shocking because I was shuffling my feet and I kept getting static, and I kept shocking my other kids because they would try to help me. Well, they were trying to help me, like,
you hit
Mom, we'll help you. Did
Sorry.
I?
Yes. Sorry to interrupt. Congratulations. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
You guys, if you haven't subscribed to Jenn, please go over there and check out her channel. She does lots of her and Melissa both, if you are interested in Leticia's case, are excellent channels to check out. And then Bindi does all kinds of other stuff too, and you have a great channel. And then I'm going to drop both of those right now, and then Kit, I'm going to drop her channel too. I think she's probably going to release more letters and stuff like that. And then Amber, and then Nay, I'm going to drop a few channels. If you haven't checked out, please check them out. But specifically, check out Bindi. We want to get her to 10K to do this fundraiser. I'm really looking forward to it. So please go over there and subscribe if you haven't yet.
Yes, please. That's like my big, huge, that's the thing I want. That's the only reason I want to get to 10K. I want to do a charity stream for St. Jude so much.
Yeah, I want you to too. So yay, I looked to just check to see, and you're at 9.01.
And I'm looking now, and I have 9,016. So I only need I don't know, whatever that minus, 10,000 is.
Yeah,
like a little less than 1,000. At 9,000, I only needed 1,000 subs. So now I need a little less than 1,000.
984.
84, yeah.
We did find it, Omarosa. I'm going to go back and maybe I'll clip the parts that we talked about and try to get the other stuff out of there. So maybe we can listen to it later. And
I do remember, Melissa. I do. And you know what? I did hit 1,000 on Melissa Jade's panel. And and when that happened and we announced it, do you know that there were petty people that unsubscribed and took me back to like, I don't know, like 15 or 20 people unsubscribed.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So I had to wait to actually make the announcement because people unsubscribed.
I've had that happen to me too.
And I was like, well,
people are mean. So even if you don't have like enemies or anything, if some people that might be jealous or whatever, they might see you doing something good and they're like, oh no, I'm not going to be part of that. You know how people are. They can just be weird.
I'm just listen. I'm doing all right for a 47-year-old mama, who's you know, and a Grammy. You're
doing great, and a Grammy. That's just so wild. People were shocked that you had grown kids on one of the last lives where we talked about that. I got a few comments that were like, "Wow, I can't believe that. You look so good." And then Melissa says, "That's all." And yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, we got a Jade right over to Melissa's.
Yeah, we do. Alley Rally.
Yeah, Alley Rally. I just saw somebody in the chat say that. So,
and I don't know what we're gonna. What are we gonna? Bendy Bonanza, Bendy Bonsai.
I love that Bendy Bonanza. It reminds me of this new perfume I want that has banana as a note. Like I've never. Well, I've only seen that once. It's a sunscreen one, but this ain't sunscreen.
Oh, how fancy! Also, I may or may not be working with Nate on another scent.
I saw her say your little mixture was on its way, and I was like, "Ooh!"
Yeah. I had like I had a little epiphany, and I went right to Nate, and we talked about it, and I'm very excited. I can't wait to see.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited too.
Me too.
We need to bake Bendy a cake for her 50th birthday. Allie can't have any.
I'll give you my slice, Allie, and because I don't need it for the trouble, and you can chunk it in the ocean.
Okay, thank you. And then Bendy Bandwagon.
That's Bendy Bandwagon.
All right, you guys. I hope to see you over at Melissa's. I'm going to end it because thank you, B Crumbs. I'll check it out. Yeah, because I don't know how to do that yet. To like transfer the chat. And then when I learn, I'll just zap you over there. But tonight,
I'll show you, babe. I'll show you how to do it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, I like this even better. Bendy Cindy. Sorry, I have an outburst.
Ooh, a Bendy.
I like a Bendy Cindy. Yes. An Alley Rally.
All right. Well, go on over to and Bendy Cindy you, and we're going to Alley Rally over there. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Good night.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.